Welcome to the latest episode of Finding the Seams. I'm Rick Bucher. That is the Reverend Brendan Haywood. Finding the Seams is
Wow.
sponsored. What?
Wow.
Finding the Seams is sponsored by the New Air Club, a door-to-door private jet service that will take care of your every need at an unbeatable price. What sets New Air apart is that it does more than arrange your private jet and crew. They will handle ground transportation, hotel, catering, security, you name it. And because they bundle the service, you can be sure the trip will cost exponentially less. Not everyone can afford private jet travel, but for those who can, make sure that you're getting as much luxury for every dollar as you deserve. Check out their website at newairclub.com to see exactly how luxurious travel can be. All right, so we have Reverend, we have reason.
Wow.
To pass.
You act like you ain't never been to black church before. I know you done been to black church before.
I have been.
Oh, you didn't say that with any conviction.
What kind of conviction do I have to say that I've been to a black church before?
I don't know, man. When I gave you the first wow, you didn't quite know where it was coming from. Like,
no, I didn't hear it clearly because I was talking, and because I'm getting over a head cold, so my ears are a little bit plugged. Mm-hmm. And then when it hit me what you were doing, that's why I laughed, because you were buying totally into being a reverend.
Yes, Lord.
But yes, and Lord, we have reason to to speak your glory. See, I did that. You think I haven't been there? I don't know where that comes from.
Never know.
Sometimes. Anyway, we have reason to preach because, God bless it, University of North Carolina has found its new head coach, and it is Mike, as I like to refer to him, Mike Full Metal Jacket Malone.
Hey, you better call him Michael. He likes Michael. He does like Mike.
He does like Michael. He likes to, he likes to dress it up a little bit. But I have to ask you, as a devout North Carolina alum, what do you think of this hire?
I love it. And at first, I was kind of on the fence because, at first I was kind of on the fence because I'm thinking, okay, we're talking about getting Tommy Lloyd, maybe Dusty May. Mm-hmm. And then out of nowhere, you hear Michael Malone. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, will that work? I don't know. And then I started doing my research. I started making my calls. Mm-hmm. And everybody I knew that either worked with him, worked around him, they all said the exact same thing unprompted. And this is when I knew Carolina made the right hire. I talked to 5 to 6 people, some front office executives right now holding prominent jobs, and they all said the same thing. Mike Malone is going to work hard as I don't know what, and your team is going to be ultra prepared. Mm-hmm. Like, he over prepares. Like, he is maniacal about watching film and getting guys foot placement. And I said, well, if you're telling me he's going to work hard, the team's going to be ultra prepared. Now, the last part is, can he recruit? That remains to be seen. But I like the fact that we got somebody that's an NBA champion. He helped and aided in the process of developing guys like Jokic and Jamal Murray. No, those guys weren't what we see today when they first got there. He was a part of that process. And when you and I just look at, he's bought in. He did the right thing as far as, hey, I need a certain amount of NIL. I think the NIL is going to be a little bit higher next year. I'm looking at the hires that he's making, as some of his assistant coaches. He did some very smart things. Number one, he went and got Calipari's top recruiter. I can't think of his name right now, but he got him from Arkansas. The second thing he did, he
Chuck
kept
Martin?
Chuck Martin, yes. That's huge, because we're talking about, can he recruit? Well, he got somebody in that can recruit. Then the second thing is, he kept Sean May, Pat Sullivan, those guys. So now he has a connection to the UNC basketball family. He played it smart. He went out. We know he's going to work hard. We know the team is going to be ultra prepared. He went out and got a top recruiter, and he still kept ties to the UNC family, so that all the ex-alumni and all the old UNC pros aren't looking at him funny. They're like, oh, yeah, you still got a Sean May there. You still understand the family concept, because he knows, hey, they didn't really want an outsider in here, but I'm here now, so let me not act like an outsider. Let me
Mhm.
act like I know what this program is about. I think Mike Malone has hit it out the park with his press conference, his hires as far as his assistant coaches, and I think Carolina is on the right path. I expect them to be competing right away.
Wow. I hope you're right for all that, because I've known Mike Malone going back years. I knew his dad, Brendan Malone, the late Brendan Malone. He comes from a basketball family. His daughter is a volleyball player at UNC, so he already understands the school a little bit. This isn't, a complete departure from we want somebody from the UNC family. But my concern is that it's about relationships, and where college basketball is now, you can't just have an athletic director. You have to have a GM, and you have to work with that GM. And what was the downfall of Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets when he was last there is that he did not get along at all with his GM. And there was a real difference of opinion in terms of who they had on the roster and who he was playing. And one of the main players that they had a dispute over was Peyton Watson. Now, Peyton Watson, in my mind, compared to, say, a Bruce Brown or a Jeff Green, who were Mike Malone's guys, Peyton Watson was Cal Booth's guy. Peyton Watson, to me, aligns more with the kind of players that he's going to have to be coaching and working with at the collegiate level. And so I hope you're right. And I hope that taking some time off and seeing how everything unfolded with the fact that he went into the media and there were plenty of NBA jobs that came open, and he was looked at so toxically that, if that's a word, that no NBA teams were looking to touch him, in spite of what is a very accomplished record for all the things that you said, all the things that he accomplished in Denver. Like, nobody wanted to go near that. And so I hope you're right. I hope
Well,
there's a
hold on.
difference.
Where did you hear no one wanted to go near that? I heard he was possibly up for the New Orleans Pelicans job and the Orlando Magic job if it becomes available.
I haven't heard that, and I'm just talking about. I'm talking about more
Maybe
about.
my sources are better than your sources.
I'm talking more about the jobs, possibly in this case, because I wasn't talking about jobs that are coming open now. I was talking about jobs that were open since he was on the market,
Mhm.
because there several had, and there were certainly teams that could have said, "Oh, Mike Malone's available. Like, let's pivot and let's hire him for this season." I don't want to cast aspersions and say that it's not going to work. It's not Mike Malone. It's that you're going to get an NBA guy who's never coached at the collegiate level, and we've talked about the dynamics. I mean, we talked about, and we're going to talk about Billy Donovan in a second. Why Billy Donovan was a risky hire, because he's not he's not versed on how the college game works right now, and he doesn't have all those connections. Now, to your point, hiring Chuck Martin, very smart move. Like, all the moves to this point to you saying, okay, he's doing all the right things. I agree with that totally. I just look at the track record and the guys that there were issues with, and it makes me wonder, like, okay, when we get past all of the window dressing, when we get down to the nitty-gritty of what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, can this work? Because I know that, like, Michael, like,
Get it right.
his, like, he can be tough, like, for all the things that, like, you know he's very definite in terms of how he wants things done, like, very specific, very hardcore, hard ass about it. Like, that can work both ways, right? You instill discipline, but if you take it a little too far, you turn people off.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up. These are all great points. And I'm gonna be honest and transparent. This is kind of a tougher conversation because I'm actually really cool with Calvin Booth, his previous employer. Like I played with Calvin Booth. I know those two guys didn't get along, but I'm also really cool with Tim Conley, his other GM that he worked with. He worked with two guys.
Yep.
One GM didn't particularly get along with the other one. They had a pretty solid relationship. Just because you can't get along with one person, that might just mean that you two guys aren't compatible. It doesn't mean that you can't work with a GM because Michael and Tim have a solid relationship. If you talk to Tim Conley, he'll tell you that. If you talk to Calvin Booth, him and Michael Malone don't have a solid relationship. And everybody doesn't always get along. I've had certain teammates I get along with better than others. So I'm not going to hold that against him. But you did make one point, and you said that he can be a little bit fiery. And when I talked to one of my sources, they said the exact same thing. And they said that might not work in today's NBA, but that's perfect for college. Let me ask a question. Is Dan Hurley fiery? Yes. Just asking. Hold on.
Psychotically so.
Let me ask another. Is Rick Pitino fiery? How are those guys doing?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. You can use some 4-letter words and you can, let's just say, you can MF a college kid.
Yeah.
You can't do that to Kawhi Leonard. You better not.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard, what? Get this guy out of here. He'll be looking at you crazy. Get this guy out of here. Like, so we understand in college, there's a certain, like, when you watch Sean Miller coach Texas, like, does he look like he uses 4-letter words and gets a little over the top? I seen him about ready to slap his assistant coach in the NCAA tournament for celebrating too early. Like, in college, what might work against Michael Malone in the NBA is just fine for college, because college coaches are the superstars. They're there every year. They're there every year. You know, like the players, your best player might go to the league. He might transfer in NIL, but that college coach, he's the star. He's who the fan base aligns with. So he can be a little bit more aggressive because he going to be here and you not. And more importantly, that works when you're talking to 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds as opposed to 32-year-olds.
I'm less worried about the relationship with the players and how he approaches that than the relationship with everybody else. Because the fact of the matter is, he was still able to run the Denver Nuggets, even though he was mothballing Peyton Watson. Like, that
let me ask a question. The year that Peyton Watson didn't play, did they win a championship?
No, I'm talking about last year. Like,
yeah, I know. I'm just saying Peyton Watson's been there. He's been there.
Okay.
I'm not even saying that it's right or wrong, because I'm looking at what Peyton Watson's doing this year. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can get, if you like, everybody's not going to be right on everything. You can get a player wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you can be like, you know what? I don't trust this guy. And you can be wrong on that. Like, listen, the way Peyton Watson is playing, okay, guess what? He was wrong. That doesn't mean he was wrong on everybody.
No,
that doesn't mean you won't be able to recruit.
No. That's my whole point. That's my whole point, is that, like, he was successful in spite of the relationship with Peyton Watson. And that's why I'm less worried about his relationship with the players. And I'm more worried about, like, how are he and his GM, who's going to be ultimately dispersing and recruiting and doing, like, how's his relationship going to be with the people that he's working with to get the players? And do they agree on those players? And when they don't agree on a player, how is that going to be handled? That ultimately is what undermined the Denver Nuggets. Like, you're right. They won a championship. I would say that if you didn't have all that discord in the front office between your GM and your head coach and the disagreements about who should be on the roster, maybe they could have, would have won another championship. That ultimately, that fracture between the GM and the head coach cost them a championship. I mean, there's no real way of knowing, but I'm always going to look back and wonder if that was the case, considering how close they came to knocking off or to getting there.
And that's a fair assessment. But you asked me, did I like the hire? I didn't say it was a perfect hire. I said I
Mhm.
liked the hire. Like, I don't know if he's going to get along with Jim Tanner perfectly, but I know it can work. I know
Yeah,
he can coach. I know he
for
knows
sure.
his X's and
No
O's.
debate. No debate about that.
I know the team will be prepared and they will play hard.
Yep.
In college basketball, if you get a certain level of talent prepared and playing at a high level, you will be successful.
Yeah.
If you think I'm lying, look at this year's St. John's team. Rick Pitino had those guys overly prepared and playing hard. There ain't an NBA player on that roster.
Hmm.
Like St. John's offensively was setting offense back. There were certain games where they couldn't throw it in the ocean with a beach ball on a windy day. Okay. Like some of their games, I couldn't even call them rock fights because they would be disrespectful to rock fights. That's how bad St. John's offense was. But
Yeah.
guess what? They played hard.
Yeah.
They played with a certain level of discipline. Man, I saw games where they would turn teams over 4 or 5 times on straight out of bounds plays. Like the team couldn't get the ball in bounds because everybody's moving on a string. If you get the talent to play hard
Yep.
and you get them playing with discipline, there's a certain amount of success that's going to come with that. Now, if you sprinkle in a little bit of NBA talent here, a little bit of European flavor there, what's popping out that pot? You got a little spicy gumbo, got a little championship. So I see a lot of good things that can happen for Carolina basketball. I am 1,000% behind Michael Malone. I think he's going to be successful.
Wow. That
Yes.
Carolina blue blood just percolated right there.
One
It just started bubbling up. Because I'm going to go back to what we originally talked about a week or so ago when we were talking about Billy Donovan, which is I'm concerned about taking somebody from NBA and putting them in college when they've never been there before. Same as I am when taking a college coach and putting
Well,
him
he's
in the
coached in
NBA.
college before. I think wasn't Michael Malone at Manhattan? Like that's kind of where I think he knows Chuck Martin from. I think
How long ago was that?
We about to bring back Billy Donovan, and Billy Donovan had.
I know, and we said that was a risky move.
Yeah.
Like
but I mean, guys come back. I mean, how long was Kelvin Sampson in the NBA, and then he came back and Houston been popping. Kelvin Sampson was his NBA assistant coach for a long time. Remember, he got in some trouble at Oklahoma. He had to leave, and then he came back. He got it popping. Let's look at what's going on right now with BYU. And I know their coach, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He hadn't even been a college coach, straight NBA background. BYU the last 2 years, he's got it popping. So we have to understand that the game has shifted. Like we have certain European players coming to the school sight unseen. Sight unseen. Like, so there's so many different ways to be good. Hey, can you recruit the top tier kids? Can you get transfers from other schools? Can you get the European influences? Like, there's so many different ways to be good that I think it's going to work out well for them.
I'm with all that, but
you don't sound like you're with it. You sound negative.
What?
You don't sound like you're with it. You sound negative. You sound like
no.
Who sent you? Coach K?
There's a little bit of healthy skepticism. I have a little bit of healthy skepticism. I married into a UNC family. I didn't take the transfusion. You know, look, this just feels a little bit like Bill Belichick 2.0.
No.
Why not? You went and got a big name that we didn't necessarily see coming. You paid big money in order to get it, instead of getting somebody who actually has a track record in the area that you're hiring them to work in, which is, in this case, college basketball, in that case, college football. Why is it not very similar?
I don't think it's like Bill Belichick, because first and foremost, I think I can understand the similarities because they both had their success in the pros. But the thing with Coach Malone is he's already coming in and he's adapting to the college game. He's going to get his boy Chuck Martin, hey, listen, I got a top recruiter in here now. I'm gonna keep some of the assistants from Carolina. Like, it's a little bit different because he already has a college flavor coming through from his coaching staff. I think he's trying to interview Kim English, Brandon Knight. Just the staff's getting better and better, so it has a different feel to it. And then there's certain things that I'm almost even ashamed to say as a Carolina alum. Like, we didn't have a strong analytics department. He already hired somebody to help bolster that. Like, not really tapping into analytics at all in 2026 is crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like, if you were to look before, and they already have a player development guy that they've hired. Well, not having a player development guy on staff in 2026 is wild. Yeah. So when I look at from how the coaching staff is being assembled, to the analytics department, to the player development department, I think all of that is going to be vastly improved. I think Carolina is going to hit the ground running, and this is not going to be the same way Bill Belichick was for Carolina football. I think Michael Malone, with his championship pedigree, his maniacal nature of wanting to be good and work hard, and how prepared he's going to have his team, I think Carolina is going to do just fine next year. Okay. And I think I really like this hire. I really do. Like, and
my
like
mother-in-law would be thrilled to hear what you're saying right now. Listen, absolutely thrilled. You might be her biggest, because she asked me. She texted me. She's like, "What do you think of the Mike Malone hire?" She didn't say Michael Malone. Yeah. And I gave her the same reservations. But you make a lot of great points, and so there's reason to have hope. There's reason to have skepticism.
You call me the Reverend. Keep hope alive. Okay?
Yeah, there you go. That's it. All right, let's move on to the guy that we were talking about and the other coaching move, which is, well, appears to be a coaching move. The Chicago Bulls unloaded their entire front office, Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley, but Michael Reinsdorf, the president of the team and son of the owner Jerry Reinsdorf, has indicated that whoever they hire as the GM, that they believe in Billy Donovan and would like to retain him as the head coach. Just from a structural standpoint, how do you feel about the idea of hiring a front office with the head coach already in place?
I don't like it. Because most of the good franchises, it's all delegated from the top down. There's a certain order and hierarchy. Obviously, you have your owner. Most really good, the owner kind of out the way a little bit. Then you have your GM. The GM hires a head coach. They're on the same page as to what they want, what they like, the direction of the team. That's huge. The direction. Hey, we want this type of culture. We want these type of players. And then because the GM brought the head coach in, there's normally a working relationship. Now, when you see it done the other way, sometimes it gets a little bit murky. And I'm also wondering, is Billy Donovan going to coach the Bulls for sure? Is he going to pull a Brad Stevens and go to the front office? Because he did win the power struggle with the front office. He had those guys cleared out of there, pretty much. I mean, it goes without saying. Like, Billy's
that's an interesting.
There,
that's an interesting point.
Gone, you know, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. Some of the moves that the front office made is flat out baffling. Like moving Io to Minnesota, huh?
Well, there was a clearing of the decks at the end where they pivoted, right?
But they moved their young players and didn't get good assets back.
No.
Like, I understand. First of all, I didn't understand why you were pivoting off those young players. Like, you're moving Io, you're moving Kobe. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, those are really good players. Like, if you watch Charlotte, Kobe White is paying mega dividends off that bench. So I
thought he played well with Chicago too. I mean,
I did. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't understand the move. I didn't understand the direction Chicago was going in. And I understand whether Billy Donovan is staying on as a head coach, or if he was transitioned to the front office. whoever is in power right now can't be there. And we got to start clearing them out right now, because as we head to the draft, we need a different voice. We need a different direction, because I mean, this front office, let's be honest, like over the last 3 to 4 years, it's been bad, man. Like Vucevic, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan all traded. You don't get a single first round pick between the three.
Yeah.
That's that's just not that's awful. Like I can't even I want to be nice. That's awful. Like that, like if I'm a owner and I look at your trade resume and you trade Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, and Zach LaVine, and between the three, you can't bring back one first, I can never hire you. I can't trust you.
Yeah.
That's how bad a job was being done in Chicago.
You bring up a great point about Billy Donovan potentially moving to the front office, because I do know that coaches are recognizing, like, I think the worst thing they could do is make him coach and GM.
No.
I don't believe in the idea of giving coaches personnel decisions. Those are two separate jobs, and you have to have two different perspectives. Because when you're, as you know, when you're in the trenches with players, you can't see their value and what you need to be doing, not only now but 3 years down the road. You can't see that clearly.
And then it puts you in weird situations, because when you're the coach and in the front office, you got to be talking to the player's agent about the money. When somebody gets traded, it's on you. Like, you remember that's part of the problem that happened with the Clippers when Doc Rivers was basically the president of basketball operations and the head coach, or was he the GM? He's the president, right?
The title doesn't matter. He had personnel control.
Yeah, like I remember when Antoine Jameson got traded from the Clippers. Like, they were on the runway. They were lying to the team saying, yeah, there's bad weather, we can't take off. Like, guys are looking on their phone like, hey, man, there's no weather where we're going. What's going on? So they start knowing that somebody's about to get traded. Then they start seeing the rumors. Antoine Jameson and I think Byron Mullins about to get traded.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, Antoine's on the plane. He walks to the back to talk to Doc. Hey, Doc, is this true? Doc's like, I don't know. Let me make a call. Who you gonna call? You make it. You know if it's true.
He's calling himself.
Like, who you gonna call? Let me text myself. Like, dog, like that's like, Doc. Come on, Doc. Hey, baby, let me call somebody, baby. Like, nah, Doc, stop.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe let me call. But it's one of those situations where you don't want to be the coach and the guy making those decisions, because that's really awkward. You don't want to be in those type of situations. So I don't think that the player, that the coach should be in the front office position and head coach. I don't think that works.
You have any thoughts about the two rumored names that I've seen out there? Mike Dunleavy Jr., who played in Chicago. That's a familiarity thing. That's taking a page out of the UNC playbook. And Bob Myers as the potential next GMs.
I don't really know enough about Mike Dunleavy Jr.'s resume. He just got the job in Golden State. So and he's been trying to rebuild he's had a very tough task.
He has, and I think he's done an admirable job under the circumstances. He's trying to get one more championship
out of a team that has no more championships left.
Like,
that's a tough task, because you can tell he's been tasked with trying to win a championship. But everybody can look at the roster and be like, it's been time for 2 sticks of dynamite and time to blow that up for like a year and a half. Like, everybody knows that. So I don't know how good or bad Dunleavy is. I don't have a strong opinion. Bob Myers was obviously instrumental and huge in that Golden State run that you covered so eloquently when you were covering those guys. So I can see Bob Myers. Like I said, long as like the head coach and the GM have the same vision, I could definitely see it working.
Yeah, I don't give Bob quite as much credit because I believe I thought Jerry West was instrumental in being right there with him. And 2, I look at James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, like they had the opportunity, which is so rare, to be able to pivot. Like, you had a championship team, but because of those 2 off years, you had lottery picks that never come along. And they got essentially nothing out of them, right? Wiseman's not there. Kuminga's not there. Moody is there, but is it when you look at some of the other guys in those drafts, I think he got out when the going was good, and I for where the Bulls are, I don't know that that's the job for Bob.
Well, and like I said, that Golden State team was very tough because they were trying to do something that normally doesn't happen. You normally don't develop your young guys and win championships at the same time.
Right.
Because championship teams normally don't have the patience to wait for young guys. Like when you have a guy like Wiseman, and guess what? We figured out that was the wrong pick. But everybody, it wasn't like they went crazy and picked. He was supposed to be picked 12th, and they picked him too. Like everybody understood that Wiseman was a big time talent, but he needed time to develop, and that's very hard to do.
You can't develop guys on a team that's chasing a championship. You just can't.
I saw that firsthand with Kwame Brown. When I'll take you back to 2001. The Wizards draft Kwame Brown, but Michael Jordan comes down to play from the front office to play. So now we have a team that is definitely trying to win to make a playoff run with a basically 40-year-old superstar. And now we have a 19-year-old young player. That doesn't mix because this 19-year-old, when he makes a mistake, he needs to be out. Okay, sit down, then come right back into the game. Don't do that again. You need to start letting that guy play through his mistakes, develop his confidence, develop his habits, and things of that nature. And sometimes that takes a year and a half, 2 years for young players to develop and become what they're supposed to be. When you're on a team, and like I said, in DC, Kwame Brown was not afforded that opportunity. If he made a mistake, he might not play for the next 5 games because they weren't trying to develop him. They were trying to, I guess, win, but we were only going to go to the playoffs. It wasn't like we're going to win a championship. It's actually a really bad plan. It was a really bad plan. It was good for selling tickets. It was a bad plan basketball wise. Now that I know what I know, like, okay, we were building around a 40-year-old and we drafted a 19-year-old. This is not going to work.
Yeah.
And so that is what Golden State tried to do to a certain degree. You got Wiseman, but Wiseman now has to play in a Steph Curry offense. The Steph Curry offense is almost different than every other offense in the NBA because all these back screens and motions, no one else runs that except for Golden State. These guys didn't run that when they were playing AAU and all that stuff. So now he's trying to learn the NBA game and learn the Golden State offense, and it just didn't vibe. Kuminga, it never worked. And that's, like I said, like I don't hold that against Bob Myers because what he was trying to do was almost an impossible task.
I get that, but then you have to make the decision. I'm either going to trade those picks. I'm going to get the veteran players or the young proven talent that can fit into our system and we can chase that championship. Like you got to convince your owner, I can do this. I can build another championship team, but I can't do it with young guys. I can't do it with guys that we're drafting on potential as opposed to ability right now.
Yeah, but you know what? But hey, listen, I'm full of stories today. I'm gonna give you another one. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the year is. Same type mindset. Hey, Wizards got the number 5 pick, but we need some good veterans. We're trying to be a playoff team. We're trying to get over the hump and beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we trade the number 5 pick. We end up getting Randy Foye and Mike Miller, 2 very, very, very good players. But the 5th pick turned out to be a really good player in his own. Our pick turned into Steph Curry. And I remember like, yo, dog, like when we first got the draft pick, I was like, will we take Steph? They're like, I don't, our front office was like, I don't know. Now you look back, it's like, well, would he have worked there? I don't know. But that's what teams are scared of when you pass up the young talent for the veteran talent, and that talent turns into Steph Curry.
Sure.
That becomes a monumental fumble.
Okay, true. But
I love Randy Foye and Mike Miller, but they're not Steph Curry.
But no bigger of a fumble than what they did with the number 2 pick, or with the number 7th pick. I'm
saying that's why teams sometimes take the talent because they're worried.
Look at how many years they sold that Jonathan Kuminga was going to turn around and become that guy. The draft picks always, I mean, they have a lot more runway than if you go get a veteran player. You're supposed to win right now. But that's where the Warriors were in terms of you're trying to win another championship. So I think that's just I don't think Bob Myers handled that situation very well, and they were given resources that you barely get in with a team that was as good as them. I do want to ask you, and I want to get off the coaches because I do want to get into a couple other things before we say goodbye. And one of them is postseason awards, since we're on the verge of having to vote for those. On the verge of having to vote for those, and a couple
You
of the
still got to vote.
Hell yeah, I still got it. What do you mean I still have a vote? Stop it. But I have to ask you because we mentioned Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers just had a meeting where he basically told the team, "Hey, you don't know who I am, what I've done? Google it." Like, have you ever been in a situation where a head coach kind of like says, kind of has to like, I need to let you guys know just who the hell I am.
Yes.
You have.
Yes.
You got to tell me, what was that like?
Eddie Jordan.
Really?
Yeah, because
Really?
Eddie Jordan had a lot of swag because he used to play with Magic and the Showtime Lakers.
Yeah.
And
Won a
we were
ring
like,
with them, I think, one year, right?
yeah, and but we didn't really watch that. We were all too young. We didn't know. Like we was
Right.
so so I remember like there was some rumors that Eddie might be let go.
Okay.
So he gets in front, and so I guess some of the guys were acting out because we felt like he might not have the juice. Not
Yeah.
me, of course. I would never.
Of course. Of
And
course.
so Eddie Jordan gets in front of the team because Eddie Jordan almost talks like he's like an old school player sometimes when he gets in his mode. He's like, "Yeah, see, I know some of you guys. Some of you guys are hearing the rumors, you reading about my name in the paper, but I ain't scared of none of that." And we're like, okay. I'm like, first of all, why are you talking like that? But then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let you keep cooking. He's like, yeah, I'm not worried about the money. I don't even spend no money. You might see me buy some money and
I feel like
spend
I'm
it on
listening
these.
to Stephen A right now.
Bro, that's how he sounded. You might see me spend a little bit of money because I got to buy these suits because they say so. But outside of that, I'm good. So I'm going to coach the way I want to coach because I'm good with mine. And I was like, okay, coach. He's like, yeah, I done been with Magic Johnson. I'm like, okay, I done been with the Lakers. Some of y'all don't know about me. And I'm like, yeah, actually, we don't know about you. But and that's fine. But he was 100% correct. Some of y'all don't know about me. We have never seen you. We don't know. We do not know. And so like it's one of those ones like he was letting us know his resume that I played with the
Yeah.
Showtime Lakers. And he was letting us know I got money. I'm not scared to
Right.
lose my job.
Right.
And he let us know. We honestly did not care, but he let us know.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right. Very quickly, a couple of matchups we just had. Knicks beat Boston. Nuggets in overtime beat the Spurs on their home floor. OKC just absolutely punked the Lakers in losing Luka Doncic along the way. Just as someone who has played on teams that were kind of preparing for the postseason, what do those matchups in the final weeks? Because I think sometimes we look at them and we look at them as an indicator of what we're going to see in the postseason, and you can get the sense that the teams are approaching it like this is a test. This is kind of an early test, while not necessarily showing their hand in terms of everything that they might utilize in a series. How legitimate is the idea that we're seeing a precursor to what we might see in the postseason, and we should take away the result as an indicator of how things might go?
I would tell anybody thinking like that, don't do it.
Hmm.
Do not do it. The playoffs are a totally different entity than the regular season. The game planning is different. So sometimes, like you just said, there might be a coach that's like, okay, I know what I think I might want to do, but I'm not going to show you that right now. Why would you? Why would I tip my hand
Right.
to a team that I
So
think
that
I'm
you
going
can
to play in
game
the first?
plan to counter that.
Exactly. I want to hit you with that game plan in game 1, game 2, and get you rocking on your heels trying to scramble. The year we won a championship in 2011, Portland had beat us several times that year. Matter of fact, there were a lot of people that didn't think we were going to get out of the first round. Well, you know the history. We went right past Portland. And so like the regular season didn't determine who Portland was in the playoffs or who the Dallas Mavericks in 2011 were in the playoffs. And it often is the case. The playoffs, like I said, they're officiated different. The game slows down. They allow a little bit more. It's a little bit more physical, a lot more attention to detail. When you got the same team night in and night out, it's not, okay, we got the Lakers tonight, Sacramento the next night, Spurs night after. No. By the time you get to about game 3 or 4, the other team knows every action you're going to run soon as you run it. It's about how well you're going to execute it. It's about how hard you're going to play. It's about your mentality. And you can't always measure that in the regular season.
Is there, with teams that have been focused and have built up, like is that a muscle in terms of your ability to focus? If you're a team that your focus has waxed and waned over the course of the season versus someone who's been about it on a consistent basis, can that determine the difference between two teams?
Yes. If you've been one of those teams that just kind of like lollygags through the regular season, hoping to get to the playoffs, there's a difference between a team that has been attacking the regular season almost like practice in front of 25,000 people on a nightly basis. Hey, every night we're trying to get better. We're trying to get better. We're like that team is stacking and stacking and they're getting better. That's totally different than a team that might have been practicing bad habits for the first month and a half of the season and now they're trying to get out of it. The team that's been approaching it the right way the whole time does have an advantage.
Okay. I figured that was the case. So do you, like, I thought Denver was trying to make a point with San Antonio in that game, the way they approached it. I'm sure that there are other things. I was actually surprised that Mitch Johnson with the Spurs used something, which he was using Keldon Johnson on Jokic, which was taking something from the OKC Alex Caruso playbook, right? In terms of, we're going to put a smaller guy on you and we're going to try to get physical with you. And it actually, I thought Jokic had the opportunity to kind of, his counter was, I'm going to make it look how obvious that Keldon is going overboard in terms of trying to be physical with me, and I'm going to get the referees to blow the whistle. Now, the tricky part is, I don't know if that translates to the postseason, right? It worked in that game. I don't know if that strategy is necessarily going to work in the playoffs. But I found it interesting that Denver really wanted to make a point. Like, I thought they went above and beyond. They wanted to win that game at all costs. Even, playing, I think Jokic played a ton of minutes in that game. What does that say to you about where Denver is in their thought process?
First and foremost, you got to look at what Jokic has done in that game and what he's done every time that he's seen Wemby. He's letting everybody know, I got now, I don't care who got next. I know he's going to be the greatest player of all time, maybe sooner or later. That's what a lot of people are saying. He's going to be the greatest ever. Not right now. That's what that game said to me. Jokic is like, Wemby, hold tight, buddy. Hold tight. I understand you're in the MVP race. I understand. Hold tight. It ain't your time. I'm still here. I got 3 of these. I got 3 of these MVPs. I'm still here. That's what that game said to me. As far as what that game plan, I don't think that game plan is going to work against Denver. Now, I don't know if Jokic is going to get the calls, but Denver is a way better team to me offensively as far as shooting the basketball. Like I'm just talking about like certain guys like Peyton Watson's playing better, shooting the basketball. You have Tim Hardaway
in the game, but
I'm just talking about Justin.
Cam Johnson had a game. Like, if he plays like that, Denver's a different team.
Well, just think about how you guarded Denver last year in the playoffs. No one was worried about Russell Westbrook shooting. They didn't have a backup center at all. You weren't really worried about what's the other kid's name?
Christian Brown?
Yeah, they kind of guarded him, but they would kind of see what it is. But for the most part, they were playing 3-on-2. Like, you started seeing teams send 3 guys to the Jamal Murray Jokic pick and roll and saying, we don't believe you got enough guys on the weak side to beat us. This year, like Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Peyton Watson shooting better. Peyton Watson was last year another guy that they wouldn't guard. So like you thought last year they didn't have enough shooters. Like the one game they won down the stretch and of what's I think against OKC, Julian
Mhm.
Struthers came in, had a really good game. He had to come in just to possibly give them some shooting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think the strategy of trying to put three people around Jokic is going to work the way it did before. I don't think he's going to have to flop at all. I think he will flop. He will get some calls, but even if the calls don't go Jokic's way, Denver is a better offensive team this year.
Yeah. No, it's again, I mentioned Cam, but if he plays the way he did in that Spurs game, he was 4 for 8 from threes, had like 7 rebounds. Like they just, I agree with you 1,000%.
The people are sleeping. Michael Porter Jr. was playing with one arm last year. Like he was being shot up basically with horse tranquilizer. He was not supposed to be out there. Did you see how he was trying to shoot? He had the tape on. His jumper looked like mine. And you know how broke my jumper was. Like, and I'm not lying. He was getting shot up every game, probably with something that he might not have supposed to be getting shot up with. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Toradol is the one. Toradol is that makes you feel good no matter what you're dealing with.
Hey, I took Toradol one time and I couldn't even tell I was hurt.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I've heard.
I couldn't even tell I was hurt. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I can't take this ever again.
Yeah.
Like I had a hip injury. I could barely move. I took the Toradol. I was like, I'm back to normal. Like, so it's like, nah, that ain't it. That can't be right. That can't be right.
I assume there was a price to pay on the other side of that.
That was actually game 6 of the finals in 2011 because I hurt my hip in game 2. I tried to come back in game 4 and I couldn't play. I got it. And so but game 6, I got shot up and I told the coaching staff, listen, I can't be out there long, but I'm available if you need me.
Okay.
I took the shot. I can play if you need me. Yeah. I can give you 3, 4, 5 minutes here, 3, 4, 5 minutes there. That's it because I'm still hurt, but I'm shot up. I could barely walk that morning. I got up in the layup line. I was like, bang, I'm dunking. I'm like, I'm back. I'm back. Woo! I got the shot because I had torn, I forgot what I had torn something in my hip, and I basically needed like 4 to 6 weeks to recover. But I took that Toradol shot. Woo!
Yeah.
Make your head pop off.
All right. Real quick. We talked about MVP. You said Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's your guy. I haven't filled out my ballot yet. It's going to be hard for me not to have him at the top of the ballot. I'm curious, and just because I've seen more people who have votes who said they're seriously considering Con Knippel as the Rookie of the Year, and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because no way that Cooper Flagg isn't the Rookie of the Year. Am I crazy?
No, Cooper Flagg's the Rookie of the Year. And I understand why the people are saying Con Knippel because he's on a team.
You do?
I understand it. That doesn't mean I agree with it. There's a different understanding and agreeing are two totally different things. Because I know how these people work. They're saying, oh, well, he's doing this and he's winning. And I'm like, he got drafted into a different situation. They got 4 guys on Charlotte averaging 17 and up. Kobe White, Bridges, LaMelo, and kid from Alabama. Miles Bridges, Kobe, LaMelo, and help me out.
Brandon Miller?
Brandon Miller, there you go. I don't know why I couldn't think of Brandon Miller's name. Brandon Miller. They got 4 guys averaging 17 and up. Dallas doesn't have that. So like that's what that's what I'm saying. Like, nah, I understand they're gonna be like, oh well, Con's on a team that's gonna make the playoffs. I'm like, if we switch Con and Cooper Flagg, it's not like Con was gonna make Dallas a playoff team. Stop. Cooper Flagg's having a phenomenal year. He's tasked with doing a lot more. He's a lot more versatile on the defensive end. He's a lot more versatile from a passing, rebounding standpoint. Cooper Flagg is the Rookie of the Year. No problem with Con being number 2.
Yeah. Okay. And then I don't know if you've thought about it. Most improved. And the reason that I bring this up is because I'm seeing a lot of people talk about Nickeil Alexander-Walker and what he's done with the Atlanta Hawks.
That's a good one.
No, it's not. He's in his 8th year. Are you telling me that Nickeil Alexander-Walker is an appreciably better player than what he showed us with Minnesota? I thought he was really good with Minnesota. I felt like they have missed him in a big way. He's in his 8th year. To me, he's just got a bigger role. He's getting more minutes. That to me isn't most improved. What I want to see is a guy who is a different player from last year to this year, where he's clearly showing me that he can do things that he could not do a year ago. And I don't know that Nickeil Alexander-Walker is doing anything dramatically different. He's just given an opportunity to show all that he can do. That's not most improved in my mind.
I want to make sure I pull up his stats. I know he's getting more opportunity, but the title isn't. When they say most improved, they don't say, "Hey, most improved by year 4." When they say most improved, they don't say most improved, but your situation didn't change. They say most improved. You go from averaging 9 points. He's averaged single digits for the last 3 to 4 seasons, and you go to averaging over 20 points, basically 21 points per game, on a team that's going to the playoffs that got rid of their franchise player. Yeah, he's in there for most improved. He went from 9 to 21.
That getting rid of the franchise player, don't make it sound like they took a step back.
Hey,
They
I'm a Wizards company man. Don't you do that on this line. Don't you do it. There will be no Trae Young slander.
All right, you know what?
There will be none. There will be none. There will be none. None. I shall not allow it.
All right, well, we're going to end it there.
And I got Walker Alexander as most
fight.
improved too. Don't try to put an age limit on most improved. Most improved is most improved. He went from 9 to 21. How is he not one of the most improved?
Because he's getting more shots and he's getting more minutes, and so.
Hey, do you know how many guys when they get more shots aren't ready for that opportunity?
Yeah. Okay. That being ready for the opportunity is not the same as suddenly he's doing things that he could not do before.
But guess what? On more shots, he's more efficient. He was 43% from the field this year. He's 46. He was 38 from 3. This year, he's 40% from 3.
You know what?
He was 9 points a game. Now he's 21 points a game.
I can't believe I'm actually having this conversation with someone who played in the league and knows that who you play with and what you run makes such a huge difference in terms of what your production is.
I didn't say that you're wrong. What I said was, did he improve? Yes, he is one of the most improved.
His numbers.
He's improved. Hey, listen, when called upon, he improved. He has the cardio and the stamina to take those amount of shots.
God, here we go.
Did you roll your eyes at me? I wish I could get my hands on you right now. Did you roll your eyes?
All right. That's it. We're getting out of here. Thank you, Brendan. We'll do it again next week.
That's why your voice cracking. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, most improved. I said it. It's here first.
We're out of here.